Let's get right into it. Number 10, the Viking Horn-ucopia of lies look. I know what you picture when I say Viking. Big burly dude, giant red beard, an axe, and a helmet with two massive horns sticking out. It's the official uniform for guy who's about to ruin your village. But here's the thing, it's totally fake. Archaeologists have dug up plenty of Viking helmets, and zero, that's a zero, have horns. It's just not practical. You're trying to swing a sword in a cramped shield wall and you keep poking your buddy Sven's eye out. Not a great battle strategy. That whole iconic look was basically invented in the 1800s. Costume designers for a series of German operas by Wagner thought it looked dramatic. Yeah, an opera. It's literally a costume. Oh, and while we're at it, they weren't giants. The average Viking man was about 5 feet 7 inches, which was perfectly normal for the time. So they were just regular sized, hornless dudes who were really good at sailing and invading. Number 9, the not so great wall of visibility. This one's a classic. You've heard it since 3rd grade. The Great Wall of China is the only man-made object you can see from space. Some people even say you can see it from the moon. Nope, not even a little. Think about it. The Great Wall is super duper long, but it's only about 20 to 30 feet wide. That's like a 2-lane road. Trying to see that from low Earth orbit, let alone the moon, is like trying to spot a single strand of spaghetti from the top of the Empire State Building. It's just not happening. It's mostly made of the same color stone and earth as the mountains around it, so it just blends right in. Astronauts, including Neil Armstrong himself, have confirmed it. You can't see it. You can see city lights at night and sometimes big highways, but the Great Wall, it's basically wearing camouflage. Number 8, the pyramid scheme, the good kind. Every movie about ancient Egypt shows the same thing. Thousands of gaunt slaves, getting whipped, dying of exhaustion, all while dragging massive stones to build a pointy tomb for a pharaoh. It's dramatic, but it's also wrong. Archaeologists have found the villages where the workers lived, and guess what? They weren't slaves. They were a paid, skilled workforce. We're talking thousands of craftsmen who were respected and, get this, well-fed. Their skeletons show they ate a ton of high-quality beef. That's not slave food, that's a barbecue. They even had their own tombs near the pyramids, which is a huge sign of respect. You don't give your disposable workforce prime afterlife real estate. You give that to the skilled project manager who made sure your eternal triangle house was built right. It was less misery and more highly specialized government contract. Number 7, Santa Claus versus the Cola-gopoly. Here's a fun bit of corporate law everyone repeats. Did you know Santa used to be green until Coca-Cola invented the red suit for their ads? It's a great story, but it's mostly fizz. Santa had been rocking a red suit in illustrations and magazine covers for decades before Coke's big ad campaign in the 1930s. He was also sometimes blue or green or brown. The guy was clearly experimenting with his look. What Coke did do was standardize him. Their illustrations by Haddon Sundblom were so good, so jolly, and so everywhere that their version became the definitive Santa. They didn't invent the red suit, they just cast him in the most successful ad campaign of all time. It's less invention and more aggressive brand synergy. Number 6, the Roman vomit comet. This one is just, ugh. The story goes that Romans were so decadent, they'd go to a feast, eat until they couldn't move, then waddle off to a special room called a vomitorium to clear space, and then go back for more. It's the perfect symbol of excess. It's also completely false. A vomitorium was just an entrance or an exit in a stadium, like the Colosseum. The name comes from the Latin word vomere, which means to spew forth, but it was designed to spew forth crowds. You know that massive tunnel you walk through to find your seats at a football game? That's a vomitorium. It vomits the crowd out into the stands. It's just an architectural term for a big hallway, not a yeet your lunch room. The Romans were wild, but they weren't that extra. Number 5, the Napoleonic not-so-complex. You've heard the phrase Napoleon complex, right? It's for short guys who act all tough and aggressive to make up for their height. The ultimate short king energy. Except Napoleon wasn't short. He was 5 feet 7 inches. Now, that might not get you in the NBA, but in 1800s France, the average male height was about 5 feet 6 inches. So Napoleon was taller than average. So where did the tiny tyrant myth come from? Propaganda. The British hated this guy, so their cartoonists drew him as a tiny petulant child throwing a tantrum. It was the 19th century equivalent of a devastating meme, and it stuck. It stuck so well that 200 years later, we literally named a psychological complex after a piece of fake news. Number 4, the 10% brain myth take. This is the plot of so many science fiction movies. Humans only use 10% of their brains. Imagine if we could unlock the rest. We'd have telekinesis, we'd learn kung fu instantly, and we'd probably stop losing our keys. It's a cool idea. It's also 100% bogus. Brain scans clearly show that you use pretty much all of your brain, just not all at once. Even when you're just resting, your brain is lit up like a Christmas tree, managing your breathing, processing memories, and making you worry about that weird thing you said in 2015. Your brain is only about 3% of your body weight, but it hogs 20% of your energy. Nature isn't going to evolve an organ that's that expensive and power hungry just to let 90% of it sit around like unused apps on your phone. You are using the whole thing. This is peak performance right here. Sorry. Number 3. The Salem witch trials weren't a barbecue. Okay, this one's a bit grim, but it's a huge misconception. Picture the Salem witch trials. You're picturing an angry mob, torches, and someone tied to a wooden stake, right? That's the movie version. But in reality, the convicted witches in Salem were not burned. They were hanged. Burning at the stake was the preferred method for heresy over in Europe, but the American colonies were following English law. And English law treated witchcraft as a felony, and the penalty for that was a good old-fashioned hanging. It's a dark distinction, but an important one. The only person who wasn't hanged was an 81-year-old man named Giles Corey who refused to plead, so they pressed him to death with heavy stones. So yeah, still horrifying, just not fiery. Number 2, gladiator fights weren't always thumbs down. In every movie, from Gladiator to Spartacus, the fight ends one way. One guy is dead, and the emperor is giving a dramatic thumbs down to a bloodthirsty crowd. It's great cinema, but in reality, gladiators didn't always fight to the death. Not even close. Think about it. These guys were valuable. They were highly trained, superstar athletes. They were an investment. You don't spend a fortune training your prize fighter just to have him killed in his first match. That's just a bad business model. Many fights had referees, followed strict rules, and could end when one fighter surrendered. If they put on a good show, the crowd would often vote to spare them because they wanted to see them fight again next week. It was less murder fest and more ancient, hyper-violent WWE. Number 1. Einstein was a math whiz kid. This is the ultimate comfort for every student staring at a test they're about to bomb. It's fine. Albert Einstein failed math, and he did okay. Yeah, about that. He didn't. He didn't fail math. He was in fact a stone-cold math prodigy. The dude mastered differential and integral calculus by the time he was 15. The whole myth started because a biographer saw his high school transcripts and misunderstood the grading system. The school had reversed its numbering, so the top grade suddenly looked like the bottom grade. No, Einstein was acing his classes. So, sorry, you're going to have to find another excuse for that D in algebra. This one is officially, totally, and completely debunked, so there you have it. Your brain is officially bigger, the Vikings are less pointy, and Napoleon is taller. The world is just a little less movie magic and a lot more, well, actually. If you enjoyed having your reality shattered in the most chill way possible, do me a solid and smash that like button. And subscribe. That way, you'll never be the one at a party telling the wrong story about Roman plumbing. Catch you next time.